Hey listeners, it's Jenn. I hope you're enjoying season 5 of What Are You Listening To? This week, I'm back with a new installment of What Are You Listening To? Time Capsule. Waylit Time Capsule is just that. It's bits and pieces in the form of songs that are meant to evoke a certain time or place. I'm going to bring you a 4-song playlist like always, but Time Capsule episodes are not interview style. They're simply meant to create a vibe or mark an audio moment in time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Well, listeners, it's October in Austin, and you know what that means. Austin City Limits Music Festival. Since 2002, this event has taken over Zilker Park, first for one weekend, now for 2. Folks from all over the world will mingle with locals, and if all goes well, by the end of the weekend, they will be saying y'all and trying to find a way to get back to Austin as soon as possible. Weekend 1 just happened, and weekend 2 is fast approaching. So consider this week's episode a super short primer about how to fest and 4 songs that I can't wait to hear live. Which songs made the cut? You're about to find out. And as you listen, if any of these songs are new to you, don't worry. We'll publish a playlist with the episode so you don't miss a beat. Since the headliners have so many hits, there would be no way to pick just 4 songs. So I'm going to take you a little further down the bill with this week's picks. So let's get started. Right off the bat, I'm going to contradict myself. Remember when I told you we weren't going to discuss headliners? Well, we can't not talk about the biggest controversy to hit this year's fest before it even began. You guessed it. We're going to kick off this playlist with Chappell Roan. My pick is Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan from The Rise and Fall of a Midwestern Princess. When the original schedule was released for ACL, Chappell Roan was originally booked for midday Saturday. And because she way over-delivered at Lollapalooza, festival organizers realized pretty quickly that it was not going to work, and they moved her to early Sunday evening right before one of the headliners, Tyler, the Creator. As everyone knows, Chappell Roan has had an incredible year with the release of this album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. She's been everything from your favorite artist to a not so thinly veiled parody of baby pygmy hippo Moo Dang on Saturday Night Live. And as a side note, she will be the show's musical guest on the November 2nd episode. Because Chappell Roan has been all over the airwaves since this album dropped just a little bit over a year ago, it was super hard to decide which song I'm most excited about. I love this album. I love her. I love the way she handles herself. I love that she's taking breaks to take care of her mental health. I love that she's calling out what it's like to be famous, just really like everything about her. I think she's just the breath of fresh air that the music industry needed right now. But when I had to narrow it down to one song for the playlist, I decided on Pink Pony Club. I should start by saying that Pink Pony Club is not a real place exactly, but it is inspired by 2 real places. The first is in, just like the song references, West Hollywood, California, and it's called the Abbey. I had the great fortune of living in Los Angeles in the 90s and early 2000s. And the Abbey is definitely a staple of West Hollywood. Many a good time were had there when I was there, and I know continue to be had there. And it's also where Chappell Roan said she felt accepted and embraced. So definitely the Abbey is an inspiration for this song. And the second is a strip club called the Pink Cadillac that she would pass by as a child in her hometown in Missouri. So she came up with Pink Pony Club as sort of an homage to both places. And the song, of course, is the story of a girl that leaves home and leaves her distraught mother to go become a stripper or a dancer in a club. And so it's just I love the message. I love that she's taking ownership of this is what I want to do. And even though her mom is opposed, she still finds a way to make it on her own. And again, there are so many Chappell Roan songs that I love. I love Naked in Manhattan. I love My Kink is Karma. I love Red Wine Supernova. I love Sugar High, Love Me Anyway. But Pink Pony Club and Red Wine Supernova are probably the two that I'm most excited to see live. Whatever her set list is, she is gonna bring the crowds. So be ready if you're attending the fest weekend 2. I think that this is going to be one that you are going to want to set up camp early if you want to see her anywhere near the front of the stage. And it also is a good time to mention that if you aren't attending the fest but still want to see the performances, it is being streamed on Hulu. So if you have access to Hulu, you can catch all of the action at ACL Fest by watching the live stream. Next up on our track list is a song called The Door by Teddy Swims. And this is from the I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 1 album. Now, this album came out in September of 2023. Not that far off. I think it was only a couple of weeks before the Chappell Roan album dropped. And, Teddy Swims had become kind of a viral sensation in 2019, 2020-ish, after posting covers of popular songs on YouTube. And if you haven't seen those, they're also worth checking out. He covers Bonnie Raitt, Shania Twain, Michael Jackson. And these songs, these cover versions that he did got millions of views. And, as the story goes in this viral age, the rest is history. His covers are great, but I really love this song. Again, it's called The Door. And he kind of reminds me of like a male Adele. Tell me if, like, once you listen, I'll be interested for listeners to hit me up and tell me if you agree or if that reference rings true for you as well. But this song has great lyrics and a super catchy chorus. And like I said, the album came out around the same time as Chappell Roan, and although he was a viral sensation, he hasn't quite exploded in the same way that she has. So I'm not expecting near as much hype and chaos around his performance, but I am predicting. You heard it here first. I am predicting that he's going to be one of the People's Choice favorites coming out of the festival. There are always a few that kind of rise to the top where people are like, oh man, did you catch this act? They were so great. And I kind of predict that Teddy Swims is going to be a universal fan favorite from this year's festival. He is playing opposite indie darlings I Dress, who are fresh off their tour with Glass Animals. So we'll see. We'll see which stage attracts more fans. But at any rate, if you aren't familiar with this artist, he is for sure worth checking out. I think that Teddy Swims is poised to really make it big. I'm excited to see what he does next. I think his voice is so clear and strong. I love, again, his lyrics. So this is an artist that if you're not familiar with them, definitely check out Teddy Swims. Next up in the lineup is a song called Without Your Love by the Paper Kites. This is from their Roses album from 2021. And unlike Chappell Roan and Teddy Swims, the Paper Kites are only going to be playing the festival weekend too. So that's a fun fact about Austin City Limits Music Festival. Not all artists play both weekends. So if you're ever planning to visit the festival, be sure you pay attention to the W1 and W2 notations in the lineup. I've met several people that were disappointed to learn that the artists' lineups were not the same for both weekends. So definitely pay attention to that as you are purchasing tickets for the festival. Now, the Paper Kites are an Australian band, and this song is from a collaborative album of duets. And the album version of this particular track features Julia Stone, who performs with Angus and Julia Stone, who I also love. So I'm really excited to see this song live. I'm not sure how they're going to do it without Julia Stone. I'm sure it's still going to be great, but this is part of the reason. They have another song called Bloom that I love a lot. But I chose this one because I'm excited to see how they're going to play it live. And, maybe Julia Stone will surprise fans. It wouldn't be the first time we've had an amazing surprise guest show up at the festival. So that's also something I'm sort of holding out hope for, that potentially we get a Julia Stone visit and this song gets played. This song is beautiful and moody, and I really just can't wait to hear it outside in the park with all the other festival goers. There's something about, a song that's big that you've listened to loud in an empty room in your house, and then getting to hear it outside with hundreds of thousands of other people. It just sort of changes the song. And this is a song that I think can hold that much responsibility. So I am really excited to see this one live. And it's a song I actually encourage listeners to check out this whole album. I think it's a great way to introduce yourself to the Paper Kites and also learn about some of the other artists that they've collaborated with who are also really good. There's no one on this album that I don't love, and there's not a track that I don't love. So definitely recommend the Paper Kites Roses album. And one more fun festival fact before we close out this playlist with track 4. The Paper Kites performance will also feature a signer for the hearing impaired. And I felt like I cannot talk about ACL Fest without bringing this up. Austin City Limits Music Festival does such a good job of letting people know which performances will feature a signer for those that are hearing impaired again. And if you have never seen the amazing folks who literally perform American Sign Language at these shows, you have to watch them. It is truly unbelievable. I'll never forget being at the festival a few years ago for Eminem was one of the headliners. And I thought, how in the world are they going to have somebody signing Eminem? And the woman that did it was so unbelievable. She literally performed every single word of the song. And so that's something just I've noticed it every year since I first started going to the festival back in the early days of the festival. I think the first year I attended was probably 2004, I would say, was probably my first ACL. And I just have been captivated by them ever since then. And you'll notice when you're looking at the lineup or the schedule, they'll have like two hands making a motion, and that denotes that that is a stage where they will have a signer there so that hearing impaired folks can also enjoy the show. But these folks are nothing short of miraculous. I'm hopeful that one day we'll get one of them on the show because what they do and how they do it is second to none. I've been to a lot of music festivals all over the country, and I've never seen folks as amazing as the ASL performers that they get to sign at Austin City Limits. So definitely just a little side note, but take a look out for those folks. They're like the underappreciated heroes and performers of the festival, but they do such a good job. It really is unbelievable to watch them work. And to round out today's Austin City Limits focused playlist, we're going to close with a true Austin treasure, Bob Schneider. There's so many Bob Schneider songs that could go on this list. 40 Dogs, Batman, I Love This Life, Flower Parts. But the song I'd most like to hear him play this weekend is my favorite Bob Schneider song. It's the first track from his 2011 album, A Perfect Day, and it's called Let the Light In. This song comes really close to being a perfect song for me. I love the allusions to the Wizard of Oz. I love the story. I love his voice. And Bob Schneider is one of those artists who's Austin famous. There are a few characters like that running around this city, and really any Austinite worthy of that moniker has probably seen Bob Schneider play and likely loves him. He's a super versatile singer, he's a great live performer. And he's as much a part of the fabric of this city as some of the artists who have had way more success nationally. He just, for whatever reason, has kind of remained a local hero and has not broken out the way some other Austin artists have. Yet he continues to be a constant fixture on the scene here, a scene that values music, that has really incredibly talented musicians everywhere you go. And he's prolific. He's got so many songs. He plays live often, which is great for music fans and people that love his music. And just a all around good guy. You see him rolling around town and he's friendly and kind. And like I said, just one of those characters or Austin famous folks that you can just, if you know, you know. I think that's the message with Bob Schneider. So definitely check him out. And it's hard to recommend a starting place when diving into his catalog because it is so vast. But the Perfect Day album is probably as good a place as any to start. The songs are really digestible, they're hooky. There's a variety on the album. So I think, again, this song, Let the Light In, is the title track. So definitely check him out. Check out this song. He's for sure worth the listen. He's like one of the best artists that you've never heard of, probably. So put Bob Schneider in rotation. You won't be disappointed. Another tidbit: if you can't make it to the festival this year, but you do have plans to visit Austin soon, you can likely catch Bob Schneider at his Monday night residency at the Saxon Pub with his band Lonely Land. So you're welcome for that. Again, you won't be disappointed, and you will certainly come in contact with lots of locals and feel like a local checking out a Bob Schneider show at Saxon Pub. Well, it's time for me to run. I've got to get my empty water bottle, my sunscreen, my chairs, my bug spray, my comfy shoes, my sun hat, everything all lined up so that I can enjoy weekend 2 of the festival. I hope you enjoyed this ACL Festival time capsule. And maybe this extended the magic for those of you who attended weekend 1. And I hope it gets you excited for weekend 2. And for those of you who've never experienced Austin City Limits Music Festival, it's something I think all music fans should attend at least once. It really is an amazing event. You get to experience the magic of Austin. You get to see our beautiful Zilker Park, which is the central park of Austin, if you don't know. You get to mingle with locals, like I said, and also meet folks from all over the world, all over the country. The style game is on point. You definitely get to see all kinds of characters and all of the weird that Austin is famous for. So one of my favorite music festivals in the entire country, and not just because I live here, but Austin City Limits is one that I go back to time and time again. More than Coachella, more than Lollapalooza, more than Hangout Music Festival. Definitely ACL is my favorite. And as always, please be sure to follow, download, and share this show. And if you love listening, drop a review on Apple or Spotify. And last but not least, to stay informed on all things Super Awesome Mix and What Are You Listening To, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Super Awesome Mix. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week to find your new favorite song.